Welcome to the Vertifor Insurance Podcast, hosted by Rick Fox. Get ready for deep dive conversations into the insurance industry's most interesting and pressing subjects. Now sit back and enjoy the conversation.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Vertifor Insurance Podcast. I am coming to you this time live, on recording, but I'm live outdoors, sunny Florida, 85 degrees. We're trying something new. So maybe some of you are watching this on video. Some of you still just listening to it on your audio. But we wanted to just kind of mix it up. You can see from the background here, for those of you on video, I'm sitting out behind my house right now, some palm trees in the background, just having a good time. Today's InsuRant, we're going to rant today, folks, is called Who Handles the Tech? And this comes from, as most of my rants do, some conversation or conversations I've had with a bunch of agencies that the concern is, okay, great, that sounds wonderful. We need to do this with our technology, but then they don't know who handles it or who takes care of it, if that makes sense. So you're hearing this from me, you're hearing it from others out there. It's time to change, it's time to update, it's time to be ready to attract young talent to your agency and all of those things. And your first thought is, hold on, wait, I don't know who's going to take care of that. I don't know how to make the decision. I don't know who's going to follow through on it. I'm talking about from an ownership perspective. I'm talking about from the perspective of anybody on the staff, where you're sitting there and you're thinking, that sounds awesome. And I don't know how I get across that canyon. I don't know how I get from one side of that canyon to the other, from where we are today to where we have to be to get more nimble, to be better at technology, to use technology in a way that's going to help our agency. Okay, so this should be your playbook for how you figure all that out. I'm hoping that this will help you. So first and foremost, start with the size of your agency. If you're a couple people, 5 people, 10, 12 people, probably once you get to 10 or so, it's time to start thinking about having someone that works for you that can be in charge of tech. It's not one of your producers that happens to know a little bit about technology and can make your routers work. I'm talking about serious knowledge on technology. Somebody in charge, somebody who understands what it would take from a technological perspective to take you from A to B. If you're smaller, then it probably ends up being somebody that you're going to hire. And then you think, well, that's too expensive. None of this is going to be too expensive. You're looking at it through the wrong lens. The lens is my investment in my agency's future is going to cost me X. And whatever that X is probably going to be justifiable because you're going to change the entire way you do business. So when you start looking at technology, you start thinking about what that looks like. Let's think about it from an actual tech person. So, okay, so I've got somebody part-time, full-time. For larger organizations, that's probably a CTO or a VP of tech, VP of information, however you want to, whatever it might be. But that person, so the question is, do you have one? The second thing, is it time to get one? And if you look at it in those terms, it's kind of like the evolution of your organization. Again, if you're a 1, 2, 3 person shop, this isn't exactly pertinent to you. But what they end up having to do is, because it's either you or someone else, but the answer no longer can be, we don't have the right people to do that. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to that work in agencies or own agencies. They either work in agencies and say, we're never going to be able to get ownership on board with this. Or they own agencies and say, we're never going to be able to get our staff on board on this. The time for that is over. We are at a point here in 2022 where that can't be the case anymore. This cannot be about, well, let's just keep doing it the old way. If there's anyone at a decision maker level that says, you know what, we're good, we don't need technology to advance, I might start looking for another agency to work at. I might start looking for another agency to be affiliated with, because that thinking is gone to the wayside. It is time right now for agencies to be looking at this and not be afraid of technology anymore. Not think that we're good is the way we look at it. I was just at our conference, the Accelerate conference powered by NetView, talking to a bunch of agencies that said very much that. It was someone who worked in the agency, even their tech person, who said, I don't think I can get the owner to buy off on this. So owners, if you're listening, you need to open your minds. You need to understand that times have changed and that it is time right now, today, for you to start acknowledging that technology is what's going to take you farther. It's what's going to change the way you work. It's going to change the way your customers interact with you. And probably almost most importantly, it's going to change the way your staff gets to work on a daily basis and be better at their jobs. And again, of course, as I always say, attracting young talent. So no more we're good. From this point on, we're not going to say that from an ownership perspective. If you're an owner and you're afraid that your staff does not want change, you might be right, but I'm certain that you can find people in your organization that are more than willing to get on that train with you and help you move that train forward. So think about this in terms of today's agency. Today's agency is complicated, right? There's the old school thinking. There's the young thinking. There's the how do we bring brand new people to the industry in. There's the how do we keep all of our carriers happy and make that work. And above all of that is your people and your customers. Your customers demand you to meet them where they want to be met now. Before the pandemic, it was an expectation. During, as we are now, it's sort of during the heart of the pandemic, it was an expectation. Now it's a demand. Everybody's been there. Everybody's done that. Click, click, buy, click, click, done. So if your agency is still thinking that your 20-year-old website and you are calling me between 9 and 5 on Monday through Thursday and 9 and noon on Friday works for your customers, you are wrong. You might have a handful, but it doesn't matter what age they are. That isn't how anybody does business anymore. So the we're good mentality doesn't work anymore. Okay, so hopefully I made my point. That was my sandbox or my soapbox, I guess. And now it comes down to what team does it look like to get that done? And that team starts with a tech person. It starts with somebody that completely understands how you take technology that you have and either integrate it with new technology or adjust and move and convert to new technology. So at the larger agencies, again, let's say 7 and above, that's starting to be somebody on staff. Smaller agencies, that's starting to be either someone who's willing to do that along with their other job, which I don't think is optimal, or it's an outside person that you pay, you invest in to come in and help you change the way to evolve your agency, make you better. So it's a tech person. Right below tech person is ownership support. Those owners that are listening, that are saying we're good, that are saying it ain't broke. Trust me when I say, when I'm out talking to agencies, the agencies right now already that are flying are the ones that are out there using technology. So their staff isn't entering data more than once. Their customers aren't waiting for Monday morning to talk to someone in their office on the phone, which they don't want to be on. It is all of these little pieces. It is the automation of the background stuff that's happening that's adding value for your customers. Any of those things. And I'm, again, at this most recent conference, the Accelerate conference, talked to 10 staff people from different agencies that said, I don't think I can get my owner. Shame on you, owner. The time is now. Your competitors, your peers are making the adjustment. Your peers are out now saying, okay, I get it. It might not be me, but I got to have a tech person in here that can help my agency evolve. So please, for your staff, for your business, for your customers, now is the time. Okay, so it's tech person, it's ownership support. Then you need somebody that could be your tech person, but might need to be someone in the business every day. that can help with that implementation and that change. Because change management is as hard as anything. And it's very easy for us to say, I don't want to go through that, so we're not going to change it. Wrong. Time to change. So you need somebody that's on the implementation side that can be there the whole way, not only with the tech side, but with the people side, the culture change, the way it looks to customers during the transition. That's the implementation person. Someone's got to own that. The fourth people in this group is not only do you have ownership support, but you have leadership buy-in, management level, decision-making level buy-in. If you have a commercial lines manager who's is going to challenge you at every turn when you put in something like commercial submissions, which is a new way to quote and to interact with renewals. It's a Vertafore product. I'm just using as an example. But if you don't have leadership buy-in to that, you're going to struggle because they're going to fight you at every turn and they're going to go back to the way they used to do it. And then I think you need at least one champion in your agency, in your organization. When I say champion, I mean somebody that more than anything else knows and believes in their heart that this is the next iteration of the agency. It could be your tech person. It could be your implementation person. It might be one of your leaders or your owner, but one person has to evangelize this journey and evangelize new technology within the organization at every turn and never falter and never fall back into bad habits and help everybody change that muscle memory. And if you do that, man, I'm telling you, the other side of it, it can be painful, no question. And I've seen agencies go through it and been like, whew, 6 months later and we're done, finally. But those of you know that the other side is going to be great. Those of you are the ones that can evangelize this and take you to the other side. So again, depending on the size of agency, depends on whether or not that tech person is internal or external, and your team. And when I say team, I mean everybody bought in: tech person, ownership support, implementation, like leadership buy-in, and then at least one champion, one evangelist that takes this thing through. That's how you get over that chasm. That's how you jump over the Grand Canyon to the other side. And when you get there, I'm telling you, it changes your agency. Your customers will be like, something's changed, and this is awesome. That's how you retain business. That's how you attract new business. That's how you attract new talent. Now is the time. We don't wait another year. We don't wait another 6 months. Owners, now is the time. Staff, now is the time to go talk to the owners and say, we must change. And then, like I said, the topic of this thing is who handles the tech. It's a decision that needs to be made. Is it internal? Is it external? Ideally, it's internal for a little larger, external as an investment for a little smaller. But do this favor for your entire agency at every level. Find out who that person is, define that person's role in tech, and then you answer the question, who handles the tech? And you have an answer. And now when things change, and now when it's time to upgrade or it's time to try something new, you've done it. You've got somebody in charge of that tech side. You've got somebody that's your implementation person. You have support from ownership and buy-in from leadership. And you've got at least you or someone else. I'm guessing it. If you're listening to this podcast, you're hoping your agency will continue to add new technology or change your technology to be more efficient. You might end up being that champion. You might end up being the evangelist. And that's awesome. Own it. Take that. Take it on as a responsibility. Trust me when I say the hundreds of agencies that I talk to, this is the one sticking point where they sit and they say, okay, well, we're kind of stuck here because Bill, the owner, won't ever change. Or, Susan, the owner, is saying, I just don't think my staff who's been around for a long time is going to change. Everybody's got to get on board. The train's leaving the station. The technology train is moving, and the conductor of all of that could be you, but it definitely includes a tech person, either external or internal. Hopefully this helps. Hopefully this drives you towards some clarity into what it might look like to make change, because change is hard. and it's scary. And you've done things a long way, and you guys are chugging along and making progress. So trust me when I tell you that agencies are out there doing more than you, changing faster than you, attracting young talent way more often than you. So today is the day. Take it as a takeaway from this, that you're going to go out, answer the question, who handles the tech, build that team, and start evaluating new technology that can help your agency move smarter, faster, everything. Don't work harder, work smarter. I always say that. So again, as I always say, this is a live version. By live, I mean video as well as audio. Hopefully you're watching this, getting a little jealous with the sunshine. It's 85 today here. Please go subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Also go to vertifor.com, go to the resources tab, click on podcasts and subscribe there to be part of our community, part of our family. I appreciate everybody that listens in. We're trying new things. If you have topics, if you have guests that we should have, anything that you think is imperative, or just, hey, here's what we like, here's what we don't, please connect with me on LinkedIn. Also make sure to send me those notes. I appreciate all the feedback. I'm humbled by all the support. Anywhere I go now, somebody says, I listen to your podcast, I really like it. Give us the feedback we need to make sure the show keeps getting better every time. And hopefully that information helped. Hopefully that gives you some clarity. Who handles the tech? Be able to answer that question, build that team, move forward. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.